Yo, what's up guys? I am coming to you with another build squad. This one's going to be a little different. This one is featuring some Rebel Aces upgrades, but it's also a 300 point list. You see, I've got an epic tournament coming up, and while I have played in epic format games, I've never actually built a solo squad. We've always done them as team games. So this is my first time building a epic build solo 300 point list, and it was a little more than I anticipated. I will admit I built this before shooting the video. A lot of times I will do it on the spot while I'm shooting, but this time I built it first. But I'm still going to walk you through my thought process. So here it goes. So I pulled out my Rebel and Imperial ships here because this is a 300 point list. First thing I got to do is figure out how many ships I actually have, because I usually have enough to field a complete list of just about any type of ship, but now, you know, it's 300 points. So I can't just go all slave ones because I've only got 2 fire sprays. I can't just go with 10 lambdas because I've only got 2 lambdas. I do have a ton of TIE Advanceds, so I'm like, well, I could totally screw some people, mess with people's minds and fly nothing but TIE Advanceds. Well, I'd have more than I have 6 TIE Advanced. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, wait, 6, yeah, 6 TIE Advanced. So I could definitely do some fun stuff with TIE Advanced, and that would be a fun build for me. They're not necessarily the strongest ship out there, but they're a lot better now with proton rockets. So that's great, but I only got 1 copy of Rebel Aces, so I can only outfit 2 of these guys with proton rockets if I was going to do that, which still works. There's plenty of other good missiles, and I'm thinking missile carriers are a good idea because I'm going to be facing other 300 point lists, which means lots and lots of ships. So naturally, assault missile seems like a great idea, which says, wait a second, assault missile, boom, let's go with Z95 headhunters. If we're doing assault missiles, right? I get 4 of them right there. I could just, you know, have 4 assault missiles take out every TIE fighter on the board. Boom. You know, but like, so I don't know. But looking at Imperials, now I did get a second Imperial Aces, so that gives me a lot of interceptors. I've got 1, 2, let's see, 2 reds, 2 stripes, and 2 classic interceptors. They've been there. I store them upside down like this, so I could totally do 6 interceptors. Now I have 3 phantoms, and I have 3 defenders. So now defenders would be cool. Well, I would never use them, but what I mean is they're cool that I have 3 predator cards. So I could go with 3. I wish I had 4. I really wish I had 4 because I would love to fly Royal Guard pilots with predator and veteran. No, yeah, just with predator. 4 of these guys, the pilot skill 6, and they're cheap, and that would make, I mean, so one of the things that you kind of need to do, what's been suggested to me, and I agree, is not try and look at building an entire 300 point list, but maybe building smaller lists. Like maybe somebody suggested 3 100 point lists. I like the idea of more like 2 150 point lists with some wiggle room. So I could have like a wing of 4 you know, Royal Guard interceptors completely kitted out, you know, and they could come in, start in one corner, and then I could have some other stuff start in another corner. I don't know. So that was one thing I really wanted to do, but it's kind of ruined because I only have 3 predators, and I can't print my own cards, you know. So I could go with 2 Royal Guards with predator, and then two Royal Guards without maneuver. That could work. But one of the things that I really wanted to do at first was play around with all of my new stuff from Rebel Aces. And I came up with this idea of, you know, oh, I'll have Neradantals shooting a torpedo at 360 arc, and I'll have a ton of bot doing support, and then I'll have Aaron Kraken doing support, and then I'll have maybe Lando doing support, and then I'll have an HWK doing support, and I'll have all these, you know, all these support ships, and I'll have all these unique pilots. And I'm thinking, wait a second. The more unique pilots I add, the more I'm going to forget, because I'm a forgetful person.
And especially when I'm playing with a lot of new stuff, I've seen it time and time again. People forget their abilities that are supposed to trigger automatically. People forget. So I want to go with not too many named pilots. I want to go with a lot of generic stuff that's just good. And I want to go with a lot of carbon copies of the same thing. Like, you know, rookie pilot, you know, 5 rookie pilots. Okay, I know I'm flying them all together. I know they all get 3 attack dice. I know how many shields they each have, so on and so forth. I can't forget anything there. But the more upgrade cards I have, the more unique pilot abilities I add, the more stuff I'm likely to forget. And, you know, I can't count on my opponent to remind me, but I'll try to be a good opponent and remind my opponents if they forget something. But still, you know, so I don't want to count on unique abilities. One of the things I was really thinking about was doing Captain Jonas as support, with maybe Darth Vader and Merrick Steele, each with proton rockets. Or cluster, and then some other bombers, and going for like a real big, maybe, especially if people are going to be flying, you know, the Corellian Corvette, or anything big, you know, a transport, you know. So if I'm going to face a Tantive or a transport, I mean, bombers would be amazing for that. Get 4 bombers, drop proton torpedoes, proton bombs rather, right in front of them. Oh, it would be awesome. And then fire sprays too. But I ended up deciding to go with Rebels. And being that I'm going with Rebels, the theme for today is the B-Wing E2 mod. So I'm going to put my Imperials away, pull out my Rebels, and continue this video with a closer look at what I decided on. Alright, so here is the heart and soul of this build, the focus of this build. I wanted to use stuff from Rebel Aces. So the one thing I've been looking forward to most of all is the B-Wing E2 upgrade. So I wanted to it gives me a great option for a crew. I don't necessarily always want to put in an HWK so I can have a cheaper crew, and I can't always afford a Millennium Falcon so I can have a crew. So this is a great option for a crew. B-Wings aren't the cheapest ship out there, but they're really worth it. They're tough. They're very versatile, and it's only 1 point for a crew. I don't always put a modification on a B-Wing anyway, so I don't really mind that cost. And there's new crew upgrades I really wanted to use. So one of the things I really wanted to do was, Jan Ors. So where's Jan? Right there. Jan Ors. I wanted to put her in. And the idea was that I would put Biggs in. And I'd have some support. I'd give Biggs extra agility, the stealth device. Perhaps even give Biggs a R2-F2 Astromech so he can use his action to gain 1 agility. So he'd be sitting at 4 agility. And then when somebody can pass him a focus, he'll get an evade. And then if somebody else can pass him another focus, maybe with Kyle Katarn, like if I could have Kyle Katarn and Garvin in there, he could end up having a focus and an evade and 4 agility. And I'm thinking that's great, but that's a whole lot of support for just one guy who could end up getting 1-shotted or 2-shot. He could end up getting taken out in the first round. So I ended up not going with Jan. I ended up not going with Biggs either. But what else will we do for the crew, right? I could add in Kyle Katarn. And that's cool because B-Wings definitely do get stressed. Kyle is a good, solid crew option, but I don't know about 3 points. So it's interesting. I really like Kyle with Ibtisam. I like that. He's also good with Kayan Farlander. So Kyle's got some, really good options. However, he's also good if you have somebody else with Wingman. So you just, you got a lot of options there. So Kyle's fun. I'm going to probably use Kyle soon in a regular squad, but not for this one. I wanted to go with the biggest bang for my buck, and that's Princess Leia. Now, I did a squad build on her already. I ended up running the squad, and it didn't work out that well, because when I used her ability in a game, for all the K turns I did, one of them bumped, so it ended up just being a forward turn, and I don't know, the game just was played very weird, and I didn't get a warm fuzzy about it. So I'm going to try Leia again, but I think she really shines in a 300-point list because you're going to have 3 times as many ships, and she affects everything. She's global. So you're getting a lot more bang for your buck if you use Leia. Now, she's expensive, too, at 4 points. Actually, 5 points if you consider that card right there. So that's a 5-point upgrade, but it gives everybody on the board, you know, a free red maneuver. So that's pretty cool. Now, obviously, if I'm using the B-Wing E2, I'm using B-Wings. What I decided, I went back and forth on what named pilots I was going to use, and then I remembered my training, right? I remembered my little speech before. So I'm going with Dagger Squadron pilots. I'm going to use 4 of them, and I'm using my promo cards for the other 3. I'm going to put Dagger Squadron with the B-Wing E2 and Leia. I'll use that card, the original, and then because I have 3 of these promo ones from like, you know, store tournaments and things like that. So I'm going to have these 3 are going to be a little bit more vanilla, and I'm going to toss a heavy laser cannon on each one of them, including this guy. Now, I'll keep him in the back. The idea is I'll fly these guys in like a formation of I don't know, boom, boom, boom. I'll put these guys out front, and I'll put Leia's B-Wing in the back, right? Something like that. Something to keep this guy from getting range 1 shots. And we'll take it slow. We'll probably start out in one corner, you know, take it nice and slow, and we'll try to get into range 3 and take range 3 shots with the heavy laser cannons. And I'll probably toss a support ship to fly with these guys, and that will be like 1 squadron, and then I'll work on like the other half of the board. So that's what I'm thinking. And I can either go with, I'm thinking like maybe Aaron Kraken or Kyle Katarn or Lando, but I just don't see. See, there's one other thing you need to know about this particular tournament I'm playing in. It's not a multi-round tournament. It's a margin of victory tournament, and we're only going to play 1 game. So you want to win, but not only win, but you want to win without losing a whole lot of ships, because because it's a time thing. We just don't have time to play like a 4-round tournament. So the better you win, the less points you give your opponent, the better. And if I take a Falcon in there, and the Falcon ends up getting blown up, for 1, that's only 1 shot. And for 2, that's, you know, if it gets blown up, I just lost like 50, 60 points. So I just don't think I want to put that many eggs in one basket. Because if it were just a 60-minute time, we'd be okay. They wouldn't be able to blow it up. But this is, I think we have a 2-hour time limit for this. So the Falcon's going to have time to get blown up. So I want to have as much firepower as I can, and B-Wings pack more firepower than a Falcon. Range 3, 4 dice, boom. And then target locks, hopefully, and I get support, and then we can have focus too. It's going to be beautiful, man. It's just going to be beautiful. All right. Let's figure out what I'm doing for the rest. All right, so I set them up. Made sure I'm just prepping for this tournament, which is coming up in 2 days. So I just got all my bases. Always check your bases before an event. Make sure you have all of them. Don't just assume. I lost my base for Wedge, and I had never even used him. And actually, I wondered if I even got it. But anyway, FFG sent me a replacement, which was awesome. FFG rules. But you know, always just pre-plan this stuff before you show up and be like, okay, let me put my ships together, and then you don't have them. So we got 4 B-Wings, rocking heavy laser cannon. 1 is escorting Princess Leia. So what else are we gonna have, right? So we're putting in Kyle Katarn, great support ship, got a lot of firepower too. The way I have him, I have a standard support Kyle built. So it's Kyle Katarn with Moldy Crow title, recon specialist, and blaster turret. All right, so typical Kyle Katarn. This is the way everybody flies Kyle usually. Some games you don't even need the recon specialist. You can just start out moving slow and build up focus tokens with the Moldy Crow title, and then eventually you'll have a couple stockpiled. But I have a lot of guys I want to be handing stuff out to, so I want all the focus I can get. Besides that blaster turret hits great. It's a great thing. So that's 1 support ship. I'm also throwing in Aaron Kraken, who is another support ship, and I'll tell you why. There's a reason. I should have said Aaron. I should have revealed him later. If you notice, I paint a lot of my ships black and red. This guy's not totally black. He's more like a dark gray, but Aaron Kraken is there because of Itan bot. All right, so going with another wave 4 ship here, Itan bot is excellent for this type of game because he's somebody else that affects all of my ships, or potentially all of my ships, right? Everybody who, as long as he's pointed the right way, everybody in his arc, all enemy ships in his arc, you know, when I'm attacking them, any of my ships can change a hit to a crit. So it gives me a free crit on everybody that Itan's looking at. He's basically calling out weak points for everyone else in my entire fleet. So now I have two cards that are affecting a lot of my ships, Itan and Leia. So these guys are like perfect for an epic game where you're running some type of swarm or a lot of ships. If you notice, I'm not leaving a lot of points left over, so I'm not using any huge ships. I'm not using a transport or a tantive. Actually, it's pronounced tantivy, but I'm not ever going to say that. So I'm not using a tantive or a transport. I've played them before, and they tend to do a little bit, but they don't do very well. Like one time I had loaded a tantive up with all the guns it could carry, and it blew up one ship the entire game. You know, I mean, it's just, I don't know. So, Itan. Now, Itan is, because he's so powerful, and he's a good ship too, he's already a 3-attack ship, and his ability works on himself, so he gets free crits. He's going to be, I think, a target. Here's another reason he's a target. He costs 32 points. So if somebody blows him up, they get a lot of points for killing one ship, and he's a little weak, only 2 hull, right? So Itan needs to live. He definitely needs to live. So first thing, I'm giving him a stealth device. Okay, that's going to bring him up to 4 agility. Next thing I'm doing, this isn't used too often, and it will be used a lot more once experimental or interface comes out, or once wave 5 hits. But R2F2. All right, as my action with Itan, I'll increase my agility by 1, potentially, if you know, I've got somebody who, if I got Kyle Katarn or Aaron Kraken around. So this way I can have a focus and 5 whopping agility. That's awesome. Or heck, I could use my action for R2F2, get a free action from Aaron Kraken to take an evade, and then have Kyle Katarn pass me a focus. So I'm really banking on Itan surviving even a lot of shots. So that's good. And for his elite skill, I'm actually throwing on Wingman, being that he's playing the support role right here. I'm letting him do, and this is a free one. It's free. I get to remove a stress from another ship at range 1. I'm going to be having these guys fly close together anyway. So that's really going to work out. Now for the rest of my ships, I really liked the idea of the B-Wing, right? I would fly more B-Wings if I had more B-Wings, but I only have 4. I'll probably have 5 eventually, because I'm going to probably end up getting another Rebel Aces. At least one more, probably. But, so I went with Y-Wings. Y-Wings are fairly cheap, and they're extremely tough. Starting off with Dutch. Dutch is the man. He's also a support ship. And I give him ion cannon turret, which is kind of standard for Dutch. I didn't give him anything else. No astromech or nor torpedoes. But Dutch is a great support ship, and he holds his own, and he's tough. And then I gave him a pair of gold squadrons to go with him. There they are, seeing my classic red and black. And the gold squadrons both have the exact same thing. They have 3 upgrades. They're running R2 astromech, which is really good on Y-Wings, flechette torpedoes, and ion cannon turrets. Now they're both running the same thing. So the idea here is that I've got some ion capability, which is dual purpose in this game. I hate ions. I hate going up against ions, but I'm probably going to go up against ions, so it's going to be one of those fight fire with fire kind of deals. But even if I don't, and I decide not to be a cheesy dude and just ion people to death, I can also use ions against the capital ships to keep them from generating energy. So it's a dual purpose in a game like this, so that's cool. Flechette torpedoes, if I use ions on a ship, I can then stress it out, even if that attack misses. It's only 2 points, too. Flechette torpedoes are really cool. Great way to squeeze a few extra points. And it gives me a range 3 attack with the Y-Wings because the ions are only range 1 to 2. So I have a range 3 option and a range 1 to 2 option. And of course they have the main gun, too. If it comes down to it, I can always use that. So that is my build. That is exactly 300 points. Wait, no, it's not. That's 299. I have veteran instincts on Kyle Katarn for the last point, and I just didn't pull that card out. But yeah, so this is the build. It's not that big for a 300-point build, but it's packing a lot of firepower. Don't forget, each B-wing is 4 attack dice all the time. 3 attack dice from Kyle, 3 attack dice here. These guys are going to be rolling 3 attack dice because of the ions and the flechettes. Now it really seems, the more I look at this, I got tough ships. I'm probably not going to lose that many points. I might not lose any ships. If I lose anything, it'll probably be Aaron Kraken. And he's cheap, so I don't mind losing 19 points. That's why I'm not putting anything on him. He's great while he survives. I'm going to keep him in the back. He can take range 3 shots. That's fine. The idea is I'm going to keep the Y-Wings up front. Shoot at the Y-Wings. I can put a B-Wing or 2 up front, but I'm going to have to mix these guys up. So let me pull all these cards back and figure out how I'm going to fly them. Because originally I planned to have the B-Wings be one, basically one wing, right? Wing as in group or company or formation or squad. A squad of B-Wings and then a squad of other stuff. But if I look over here, these guys are all support ships. I mean, some of them have some guns to them. Kyle Katarn can shoot pretty good, but only up to range 2. And Itan can shoot great, but he's also like a super ultra target. He might as well be Biggs because they're going to try and kill him every chance they can. So, and he's also support. I really need to keep him in back. I need to give him the widest arc. I need to have everybody in arc. If I have him in front, then he's only going to have maybe 1 ship, and then all the guys around him won't be able to take advantage. So I have to keep Itan in back. So I can't fly it like this, like I was originally planning to. So what I'm going to have to do is split the B-Wings up. So maybe a funky sideways red B-Wing, and then Rebel Aces B-Wing over there. Then I've got New York Jets, white and green and black B-Wing there with the Princess in back here in the classic B-Wing. And then I know how to split up my support ships. Now I can easily split up Y-Wings. I would like to keep these 2 guys together because they have the flechette torpedo. So if one gets an ion hit, the other one can flechette and stress you. So that's a real royal screw up, which is nice. It's nice to completely hose somebody, So I can put Dutch over here with these guys. Now who else needs... And of course my formation, I'm not going to necessarily... I might just put them all together. It depends on my opponent's lists. It depends on... If they're flying a huge ship, maybe I'll just fly everything together and take a huge, blah, 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 blah. I could probably take out a Tantive in one attack. Especially because I went with, like, daggers instead of blue squadrons. So most of my pilot skills are pretty high here, in a swarm type game, you're going to see a lot of 1s, 2s, and 3s for pilot skill. But I'm, like, running 4, 4, 5, 6, 4, 8, Kyle's got veteran, so that'll be 8, 4. I have 2 2s here in the gold squadrons. But, I mean, that's it. And they're tough. They can shoot last, and they're going to have ion turrets, so it doesn't matter where stuff is positioned. I figured that was okay. I was tempted to go with gray, so 4 would be my lowest number, but I just don't care. They're not going to... It's going to be hard to kill these guys. Nobody's going to want to take them out. Well, maybe a little bit, because they got extra upgrades, but... But they got R2 also, so they're going to be able to... They have better maneuverability. Y-Wings will surprise you, man. They're probably the most underrated rebel ship. They're really good. And I bet you when Scum and Villainy comes out, you're going to see... People will be looking at Y-Wings in a whole new light. So, maybe I do... I want Aaron Kraken with Itanabot. So maybe we fly it like this. Problem with that is Kyle Katarn is the only support ship here, but then we do have 3 turrets. And then over here we have 3 support ships. So I probably need... Oh, that's not bad. Maybe I put all 3 Y-Wings together. So that gives me... Okay. So Dutch is a Y-Wing with a turret, but he's also support for the free target locks. Kyle gives free focus. Right, right. Yes, you get what I'm selling, right? Okay, I line them up like so. Here's just an idea. Here's an idea. So then I got my 2 heavy hitters out front, and then I've got my 2 support guys right behind them, and then I've got 2 more. Well, they can line up on the side. They can line up wherever they want, right? Heck, they can be out in front here like that. Yeah, it could be a wall with my support ships behind. And then I've got these guys here, maybe formed up like this. All right, or maybe I'll put Leia, the one with Leia on the outside. But it all depends on where the other ship is formed up. And then I start them in opposite corners. And whew, or if I see a whole bunch of assault missiles, then I'll just space them all out and kind of keep the support ships, you know, spaced out. I do want to keep a ton close to Aaron Kraken. That's the only thing I think I'm really going to have to do. So that is the 300-point build featuring the B-Wing E2 mod. Leia's going to give everybody 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ships a free K-turn, or well, free red maneuver. And Lord knows those B-Wings have plenty of red maneuvers. So let me know what you think about this build. What would you have done differently? Would you have gone Imperial? Should I put maybe a transport in there? I can't really see doing it, but you know, maybe for a friendly game, I wouldn't mind doing that sometime. Because ever since the Tantive came out, honestly, everybody flies the Tantive in like the fun scrimmage little capital ship games. Like I haven't seen a transport played once since the Tantive has come out. So it might be fun to play a transport. All right, well, let me know what you think. I'll definitely let you guys know how this goes. Maybe I shouldn't even post this video until after the tournament. What do you think? And somebody I might go against is watching. That's okay. All right, fly casual, have fun, and subscribe if you like what's here. Let me know what you want to see next. See ya.